Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is out and ready to play, but today we are about to witness one of the most satisfying and rewarding role-playing experiences that is rated 8 out of 10 from IGN. Yeah, just 1 point above glorious masterpiece Concord. Kings and Queens, we're going to start new game in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 with 3 main goals. Role-playing goal for today is to become most brutal medieval war machine ever existed, basically to make a build that will crush enemies with brute force. Hardcore gamer goal is to get one of the most rare achievements in the game, renewal of previous levels, without ability to read. Less than 1% of players ever achieved this. That should not be a problem for us. I don't like to read anyway, and we are playing Brutal Knight, not a scientist. And last goal is to witness a story of KCD 1, since it's directly tied into KCD 2. So grab yourself some potato snacks and let's jump straight into this medieval masterpiece. That starts with a backstory of the world we are about to get into. King Charles was cool, but he finished all the side quests, so his son Wenceslas became a king. He was so lazy that his main ruling strategy was do nothing and hope for the best. This led to his half-brother Sigismund speedrunning usurp the throne with world record efficiency. And here we are, 15th century Bohemia, a time when Europe was essentially a giant medieval battle royale. What a beautiful lands and peasants. Here is the catch, I went into the game blindly, and when I was looking into this intro I thought, oh, it's me.
Here I come.
A glorious knight with a shiny armor. Or maybe I'm a cool, powerful blacksmith. It will work too. But turns out I was lying in the bed all the time, since I'm playing as
Henry, get up now. There's work to be done.
Henry is a man so incompetent, he makes a drunken NPC look like a tactical genius. Anyway, we get our goals to become most brutal knight possible, but our mother gives us another task for today. Still, I was forced to lie a little bit about yesterday. I was working in the forge and not drinking. And just like that, like Pinocchio knows, our biceps has grown stronger. Still, a long road lies ahead, and I decided to start the day by stealing every type of food from the table, at least this everything we got in the house. Got all my side quests from the father, and to find out where to go next, I checked the map. Oh, what a beautiful map actually. It's a little bit hard to understand where to go exactly, but looks very good and stylish, at least a lot better than this space piece of garbage. And before doing every task I asked for as true RPG fan, I decided to look into the stats and line up my build. We got a lot of different armor and weapon stats as well as survival stats, so the game probably will be really difficult. I immediately found out there's not only stats but skills and perks. And after checking backside of the horses like true medieval scrub, I checked my stats again. And turns out my vitality was already leveled up a little bit. In fact, I got 7 out of 80 experience points I need for next level. So what I did last few minutes that helped me leveled up. Turns out, every time I vault over the fence, I'm getting experience points for vitality. To be more precise, I need to vault 80 times to get 1 level in vitality. True RPG leveling at its finest. After leveling for a few minutes to get my vitality up, I went for my friends who are guards in a castle. Here we will get 1 part of the sword needed for the main quest of day 1. Quests looking pretty easy for now. I decided to look around and see can we do some parkour in this game. And after pressing wrong button, my friends are no longer my friends, they actually going after me. I haven't stole anything, I should be fine, right?
Wrong.
The game instantly tell me I will participate in unarmed combat. This shiny stick doesn't look like unarmed combat to me. When you start to play Kingdom Come Deliverance, you instantly understand that you're not a knight, you're a basic peasant, and game tells you it pretty clearly. Because there's no saves, I lost all my experience and need to level up again.
Again? Seriously?
But I got bored of this jumping over friends and decided to go straight into the town for other side quests. And they're really glorious. I need to buy coal, but I got no money. So I went into tavern and started doing some basic medieval stuff. Decorate houses with a cow shit, and then decorate faces of house owners with my glorious fists. Running away from the guards so they don't decorate mine, and overcoming almost impossible to overcome obstacles, like this cow for example.
Is something wrong?
With what?
With anything?
Is that what you're asking me? Is there something wrong with anything?
It was really hard, but I managed to overcome this obstacle finally and went for my normal things. Kindly asked a guy to give me my belongings, and I asked so nicely. He was really generous and gave me keys to his house. There's not a lot of things here, but at least here is my tools.
It's called diplomacy.
Still I need some money for Kerkol, but turns out my first move in the game was a genius move. Every piece of food I took from my table, I sold it, and now I am able to finish the quest and buy Kerkol. Last part of the day was to learn how to fight, and actually you can't learn how to fight in this game over here. It will take at least hours when you understand how systems works and when Henry actually can perform what you want, because instantly he is just a peasant that can't wield a sword. Anyway, we finished a sword and the day is over. Knight is really happy that we gave him a really cool sword, and it looks like the day will finish peacefully. Honestly, at this point I'm getting some Chrono Trigger vibes. The game starts with beautiful landscapes and the world, then mom wakes us up and we're going to do some quests for our dead in the town. After finishing all the quests, that's the time where the bad guy comes and we need to fight him for whole game. And I was completely right, this bold guy came to destroy our homeland Skalitz. And Skalitz right now looking like a Walmart on a Black Friday. Instead of customers, there's humans with torches. So Henry starts the game with no money, no combat skills, and now no parents. Congratulations, we are playing Medieval Orphan Simulator. Normally games give the ability to go and fight bad guys at this moment, but it's more or less a realistic simulator. So Henry should do the best thing he can do right now. And that's not only a cutscene, we actually need to run away from the village on our tour. At the bottom of the hill I need to save a lady, and you know how it will go. Guy without even a stick against armored warlords. I wasn't able even to run away. At least I got a sword we made earlier today, so I decided to test out my war skills. And turns out one training session is not enough to learn how to fight. And don't tell me I haven't tried. After lurking few guys and going one-on-one versus them, army came and again I got no chance against an army. So sorry lady, I guess you will be alright. And after using some GTA tactics I went on a horse. Now I should be fine and safe, right?
Wrong.
Game just can't give me a chill moment. Arrow in the leg, that's what I got. But anyway, after pretty intense chasing, I escaped to nearby castle. Turns out next day Bold Guy came here to get this castle too. Guys here was better at negotiating, so they were safe and I was a hostage at this castle. Still, I'm not accepting this and no walls can keep me in. I looked at the bridge and decided, you know what, I can just jump down, it will be pretty safe.
I panicked and made a bad decision, okay?
It worked perfectly and I was safe in nearby village. I saw some guys who playing dice, so why not to make some money? Game was going nice and it's pretty simple, but turns out guards is after me. Lesson learned, don't play dice when you're wanted.
You keep making bad decision after bad decision.
I guess I need a new plan how to escape this castle. At night, when everyone was sleeping, I found a guard room. Just to find out, lockpicking minigame is more terrifying than actual combat. To pick a lock in this game, I need to find a golden spot, and then I need to rotate and keep the spot at the same time while my hands shaking like I drank 20 Red Bulls. Anyway, chest in this room contains guard armor. So let's see how true roleplaying can work in this game. I'm disguising myself like a guard. And yeah, now I can completely freely leave the castle. I am amazed by this. really glorious role-playing at its finest. Henry decided that the best thing he can do right now is to get back to Skalitz to bury his parents, only to find out that there's a lot of loot on the ground. Not really cool loot, but at least pretzels in okay condition. Turns out there's a lot of bakery hunters in this area, and this guy definitely not a friendly one. I still don't know how combat works, but smashing buttons like I'm playing Mortal Kombat 20 years ago just works, you know, it just works. And we are leveling some skills at the same time, great.
Is that what you're asking me? Is there something wrong with anything?
Haha, all your pretzels are mine now. With a confidence I moved forward, slaying pretzel hunters, but after reaching Skalitz I got slain by bandits. And that's one of the main goals in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, to find and revenge these bandits who stole the sword. Luckily I got saved by the woman I helped earlier and we are arriving at her mill. All items we looted before is in the box, as well as new ancient maps. This is maps to some treasure in some Red Dead Redemption style. Looks cool, and probably that's the key to get some gear to become a really powerful knight. After looking around a little bit and rolling around some logs, I found bludgeon. Yeah, bludgeon is a stick, but that's what I need. While sword is cool, I decided I want really heavy armor and bludgeon, something like Morgenstern or mace, to become really brutal, powerful and scary knight. At the mill there's a guy who is owner and he looks like a really nice dude. Turns out millers wasn't really good in medieval era. They often was as thieves or really bad guys. The game is very historically correct and this guy is a thief himself. And that's not only one historically accurate thing in the game. I went to nearby castle and that's the pinnacle of historical architecture. Yeah, the shitholes on the tower walls. It's insanely cool and historically accurate thing in the game. After getting to main room, the main quest starts. We are no longer a peasant. Sir Radzik Cobbler over here takes us to his order and we are becoming a guard or a knight for him. That's great, because it's time to get back to our main task and main business. We need to become a most powerful knight and I'm looking for good weapon. So that's a weapon shop in our nice town. There's a lot of swords, but as I told you, what I need is a mace, a Morgenstern, something really nice and powerful. There's definitely a bunch of bludgeoning weapons in this shop. The problem, even most basic of those require some strength to use. I got the best one I could wield right now and decided to test out it in wilderness. Turns out it's not only the way to practice some mace skills, but also to level up mace and strength skills. Hunting some ships in the wilderness is really fun, but also tedious. I decided to go and find out better ways to level up. Miller Peshek, guy from the mill, gave me a task to visit one of his friends in the mountains, and while I was going the road to the mountains, I found a mushroom. Turns out I can pick up some mushrooms from the ground, and this helps me to level up herbalism skill. While on paper, this is not what some brutal dude will do, you know, picking up some flowers and mushrooms. Leveling skills in this game unlock perks. And we get a really special perk in herbalism skill tree, Leg Day. Every time I pick up a flower from the ground, it levels up my herbalism skill tree, but after getting Leg Day, it will also scale my strength.
Let's do this.
So I spent full day getting up flowers in the hills. Day was switched by evening, evening by night, and even at night, with the help of a torchlight, I gathered flowers. Slept for a few hours, getting some food, and once again. Morning, day and even night, getting flower after flower after flower. Finally reaching herbalism level 10 and unlocking Leg Day. So now every time I pick up a flower, this will go to my strength stat too. So my strength experience at 58 right now. Let's pick up a few flowers in the pockets and it's 60. So I just need to pick up 1000 more flowers and will be very powerful. What a pinnacle experience.
2000 years later.
Getting my strength to maximum by picking up flowers and getting my vitality to maximum by vaulting through fences is true completely balanced RPG experience. so I decided to test my skills in a tournament. Turns out being powerful and well conditioned is not enough to fight in a real knight tournament, and this guy just melted me with a mace. And it's time to get last piece of the puzzle. We need to learn how to fight finally. Outside of this castle walls there is a training ground with Captain Bernard. I finally understood how combat works in the game. Basically we need to pick direction of attack and then attack, and we need to decide where to attack based on where enemy holding his weapon. There's a bunch of combinations and counters, so combat is pretty complex but really fun when you understand how it works. And I was lucky to test my skills with a real sword against Sir Hans, a royal person who will become our friend soon enough. My skills was enough to defeat this bro, and I'm feeling ready for a tournament, but again we want to play with a mace. And I got back to Skalitz to train my mace skills against pretzel hunters. While I was good enough to take even 2 of them at the same time, still, enemy density is like not enough over here. I definitely need high amount of enemies and practice to level up my mace skills. Before getting back to the main town, I decided to pick a little bit of supply over here in Skalitz. There's a lot of cabbage and other goods left nearby. Also insanely beautiful sunset. So I was exploring area, doing some parkour, and then I dropped from the bridge. Yeah, it just happens. Since Henry definitely can't fit under the bridge, I was forced to go upwards, and then I saw a chest. So, let's see what's inside. And inside is Bailiff's mace. It's most powerful mace in the game, and I already got enough strength to wield it. So it's time to get some armor and other equipment. I went to hunting these glorious spinner ships.
Is that what you're asking me? Is there something wrong with anything?
But besides getting my agility a little bit higher and bunch of stakes from these ships, I found a pouch near the big tree. In this pouch there was a really good helmet, so that's first part of my equipment. With good helmet I should be able to defeat enemies at least in the campaign. That's what I thought at first, but actually with this helmet it's hard to see anything, and 1 versus 2 is not a way to fight for me right now. Again, my skills is not enough. I mean, my skills may be okay, but Henry still can't stand a chance. I fought versus these guys over and over again. I just couldn't stay loose and defeat from the 2 guys. But then finally a miracle happened. There's 2 bandits, one with a bow, and he shot his friend in the back. He started to run away, and we basically won. I catched the guy with the bow and kindly explained that he is no longer available for the service. If I need some equipment, I will need to travel a lot, and I got a lot of groschen, which is money in this game, by selling all herbs and mushrooms I found. With that money, I decided to make a great deal and buy myself a horse. What a nice and lovely horse, also pretty fast. Now I can completely freely travel around the world, but I decided to continue questline that led to me and Hans Capone hunting for big boar. This hunt turns out into fight versus 2 humans. This will be the perfect test for my skills and my armor right now. That's a hard fight since we fight in 1 versus 2, but second guy with a bow, so I was hiding behind the trees and finished the first guy. Then we need to fight with this guy with a bow. It's pretty easy because he don't have a shield and basically he is out of service, at least for now, or maybe forever. Hans Capone is saved and now we can get back to the main castle. And after getting back to Rotai, the main castle, I got a plan. Since we're here at night, I wear dark clothes and getting inside people's houses with a nice little phrase.
Hello, I like money.
So I just lockpick every chest I found in the village, and also I always knocking out people who sleeping in the beds. This levels up my stealth and also lockpicking ability, and I did it for few nights and days, maxing out my skills, which gave me enough money to buy the best equipment from the shop. Now, with the best gear, the last piece of the puzzle again is to learn how to fight with the mace. Again, while I know how to fight with the mace, Henry is still not doing great. We need to level up mace skill. And basically every day I started to fight versus Captain Bernard until he defeats me. Then, dying from bleeding, I need to rush to boss house to the Rotai. And then, like magic, after using all bathhouse services, we can heal up in a second. Sleeping, waking up, getting back to Bernard and training again, then getting some healing. And in a few days, with maxed out May skill, I think I'm ready to find some treasures. The first map starts the road in New Haven. It was pretty nice and chill part of my adventure, looking at the maps, trying to find where I need to turn, finding secret passages in the woods, then eventually meeting graves with a big skull if we dig up, and of course with a nice treasure. The treasure is Warhorse set named after developer studio. House with a windmill, some rocks and a big tree. Finding same places on the map, this means treasure is somewhere nearby. I enjoyed these maps in Red Dead Redemption, and here is no other experience. It's really pretty fun and cool to look in the map and try to find places with the loot. And also we get in these rewards parts of Warhorse set, as well as some groschen and other goodies. The hardest was 2 maps near Ratai. The one with double bridge over the river and then broken building after road split. It was okay, but road split is too far away from this double bridge. Anyway, I finally found it, and after a little bit of parkour, I found a chest inside of this building. What is interesting, Warhorse set is not actually the best probably, because my armor set got a little better stats, but Warhorse set costs just 1 groschen for each piece, and this means it's a lot easier to repair it, because we're paying for repair based on armor price. Next map near Ratai again was pretty hard. I need to explore whole forest until I found a big rock, and near this rock there's a mine, and that's where was a treasure, but it took a long time. Last map was hardest because there's no settlement names, but I guess it looks familiar for me. Roofs on these buildings is kinda looking the same, so I guess it's Skalitz. I decided to zoom in map a little bit, and yeah, this river also looks pretty familiar, almost like the one on the treasure map. After reaching end of the map, I turned into forest and tried to find this house with a deer, probably like hunter's house or something like this. But I stuck in the forest, I wasn't able to get out on the horse, but actually that's the place we're looking for. This broken house with a chest, and we need to open the chest to get the treasure. Luckily, after all training in Ratai, I know how to open chests without a lot of problems, and that's the last piece of my Warhorse armor set. Now in Warhorse set I'm able to defeat Captain Bernard pretty easily. Now I'm defeating him and not he defeating me, and when he lands a shot, we're not even taking damage. I decided to go into tournament and test out my skills over there. Here we're not having any armor, but again my new skills and abilities with the weapon, as well as basically ability to wield it and use efficiently, is enough to beat the tournament. We need to defeat 3 guys to fully defeat tournament, and I did it without a lot of problems. As you can see, enemies right now don't have a chance against us. That's pretty crazy. So let's watch out. After these pretty long days of practice, they worked out perfectly. Now we can fight versus bunch of guys, and we're actually armored war machines, just like I wanted to be. Now we don't care if someone attacks us from the back, we're in really good armor, and we can easily stand against multiple enemies. So first objective is technically done. We become unstoppable and insanely brutal medieval knight that never lends a chance for his enemies. I advanced through the story a little bit, and here is the ultimate test. We're going into the stealth mode and we need to investigate Pribyslavitz. That's basically the camp we will need to repair. Turns out, trying to be stealthy in like heavy steel armor is not something that will work, and I was forced to fight versus humans who are inside of this camp. This will be ultimate test for our brutal knight. Not because we're fighting versus humans, but because there's a lot of humans. We're not fighting 1 versus 1, but actually this fight goes 1 versus 9 in the end. The full fight took me 10 minutes to complete, but in the end we were victorious. Yeah, I finished 9 humans in 1 single fight. That's crazy. Our brutal knight is really ready to compete with anyone. Sir the Cobbler not really excited that we don't have enough information from the camp, but still we are so powerful war machines that we can destroy anyone with our crazy mace and we're not taking a lot of damage. That's insanely large big battle with a lot of enemies and a lot of allies. Our main goal is to never let our allies to have casualties. At least not a lot of them. So after fighting versus a lot of guys with bows and going through the walls of this like little town, we arrive into the final battlefield of this mission. That's where I found a guy who beat me up in a Skalitz and took out my sword. So that's the time for final test for our insanely brutal knight, the final boss of the game technically. I would really like to show you the epic battle, but you know what and how it will go, since we are basically unstoppable guy with the best gear in the game. This battle lasts for like 20 seconds or so, and we won. And since we are so cool and powerful, we get the honor to go and renew Pribyslavitz as a landlord. After getting back to Pribyslavitz, there was a bunch of bandits over there, so I took them off pretty easily, since we are basically the best knight in the game, and I found a guy who held hostage over here who will help me to renew this city, but I need to do it without learning to read. Till this point of the game, I have no problem with inability to read. Technically, ability to read useful only for us to learn new skills, but we can learn them by picking up flowers to upgrade our strength and jumping through fences to upgrade our vitality. So what's the problem we will have here? First of all, I got a chest where I need to put my groschen to pay wages for my workers. And that's where I really need ability to read. So there's a book nearby that basically got a little bit of weird words inside. And that's how words looks to someone who don't know how to read. Still, we can understand that this is probably stone, grain, charcoal and basically resources. Here is the groschen and reputation and objectives. But funniest part, we don't know how to read, but also we don't know how to see numbers. So I don't know how much of each resource I need for each task. So how do I build something that I don't know what I need to build actually? My first strategy was exceptionally genius. I swiped pages until I found the one that I can use. Basically, yeah, this build button highlighted, and now I can build something that I can build only with groschen. So first building was easy, just following the guy and building this woodcutter's camp probably. Then I found out that I can basically talk with this dude and press on every possible option. If we can build something, then we can build something, and we will do it. That's how I got this glorious bridge in my Pribyslavitz. Trader house, but then I almost stuck for all other options. So, to build almost all other houses I need stone, grain and other stuff. I looked at the map and found new markers. Almost in every town I got markers for stone, grain, charcoal and other resources. So it took just a little bit of traveling and I got myself a tavern, baker house and all other buildings we need. It took a few more days to gain some groschen and then I was able to build a church, or better I would say renew the church, and this gives me one of the rarest achievements in the game. If you watch from the beginning, you know that we got 3 main goals in mind. We already became the most brutal and powerful knight in this world. We renew Pribyslavitz without ability to read. So what's about lore of the game? We know the beginning of the story, but what is the end of the story? Actually, all bad guys run away. And Sir the Cobbler,
I am your father.
Subscribe for more RPG content.